Second half kickoff rapidly approaching at BBVA Compass Stadium in Houston, Texas, between Canada and Guatemala. Canada up 5-0 after the opening 45 minutes of this Group B CONCACAF Olympic Qualifier. Canada already clinching a spot in the semifinals. Assuming Guatemala doesn't score 17 goals in this second half, Canada would take first place in Group B. Face Costa Rica Friday night in an all-or-nothing match for a ticket to this summer's Rio Olympics. Canada and the All-Whites working right to left on your screen. Guatemala blue with the white stripe going left to right. Rebecca Quinn on the ball. She scored the last of the 5 Canadian goals in the first half from the penalty spot in the 46th minute. Guatemala, despite the lopsided score, beginning the second half much as they played most of the first, in a deep-lying defensive shell. Alyssa Chapman trying to beat that ball to the end line, but whistled for offside. Semifinals set for Friday, 5:30 p.m., Canada and Costa Rica. That game on NBC Sports Live Extra. Then at 8:30 p.m., the United States versus Trinidad and Tobago. That on NBCSN as well as NBC Sports Live Extra. The championship of this tournament, 5 p.m. on Sunday, broadcast live on NBC Sports Live Extra with an encore presentation at 10 p.m. on NBCSN. Melissa Tancredi, Gabrielle Carl, Janine Becky, Nichelle Prince, and Rebecca Quinn, your goal scorers in the first half for Canada. Deidre Martinez ahead to Andrea Rabanales. Guatemala looks to earn some possession in the Canadian half. Substitution coming for John Herdman in the 48th minute. It'll be Shalina Zadorsky, central defender, replaced by Sophie Schmidt. Schmidt, part of the team that won Olympic bronze in 2012, currently plays in Germany for FFC Frankfurt. Alyssa Chapman, one of a very capable stable of outside backs for Herdman. Ian Wilkinson getting the start this evening in her 169th cap. She's captaining this Canadian squad. Martinez slides to deny Tancredi. We've also seen Jose Belanger, even Ashley Lawrence playing on the outside of the Canadian back line. Tancredi with her back to goal, lays it off to Quinn. Quinn, the delicate touch, what a strike! Rebecca Quinn, her second of the night. And a bit of magic on that one, as Canada goes up 6-0 in the 49th. Perfect layoff from Tancredi, and what technique from the young midfielder. Inside of the foot. And Alicia Navas never had a chance. Side netting, precision over power. As it stands, Canada have matched their record for most goals in an Olympic qualifier with 6. They've done that 5 times before. See if the Canadian attack can produce some more history. They've already done so in this tournament, with Christine Sinclair scoring her 159th career international goal to move ahead of Mia Hamm. And into second place on the all-time international scoring chart. The only player ahead of her, Abby Wambach, with 184 career tallies. Nothing to complain about through group phase for John Herdman. I'm sure he would have liked to seen his team tested at some point. Not only have their matches been lopsided, but no team has even really been able to at all threaten their back line, and beyond that, either of their goalies. Aaron McLeod, untested through the first 2 matches. Stephanie LeBay tonight, hardly called into action either. Navas puts it in play. Fleming wins the ball and launches the Canadian attack. Janine Becky. High, arching ball to Tancredi. Tancredi headed to the back post. Ball flicked in. Nichelle Prince in the area. But I believe it was Quinn that applied the final touch. And if so, it's a hat trick for the young midfielder. We get a second look at it here. Quinn the header. No touch for Prince. And it's the 3rd goal of the match for Rebecca Quinn. Seven nothing Canada. Alicia Buchanan, calm under pressure, as the Canadians have been for most of this game and most of this tournament. A few instances where teams have dared to move their ranks upfield. Canada's back line has barely broken a sweat. Chapman surging forward. Mayen the clearance. Schmidt gathers. Fleming, Tancredi, Buchanan. Canada working triangles in midfield. Up 7-0 and looking for more. Quinn already on a hat trick. It's the second Canadian hat trick of this competition. Ashley Lawrence had one. Canada's opening win against Guyana. Tancredi header to the far post. Skips out of bounds. Guatemala and Benjamin Monterroso making a sub. Jennifer Munoz comes on, replacing Andrea Rabanales. Munoz, 22 years old, plays for Martin Methodist College in Tennessee, where last fall she was an NAIA All-American. Along with Ana Lucia Martinez, she's probably been Guatemala's best attacking threat in this competition. See if she can't bring a spark to Las Chapinas. Deidre Martinez cutting back towards the center of the field. Net by Gabrielle Carl, applying the pressure. John Herdman going to his bench again here as Ashley Lawrence will enter the match. She replaces Alyssa Chapman. Lawrence settling in at left back, where she played as well against Trinidad and Tobago. Played a bit higher up the field in the opener against Ghana. That's when she had the hat trick. Martinez losing her footing. Martinez. Oh, so feisty at the back for Guatemala. Really been impressed with her play here in the tournament. Coralia Monterroso captaining Las Chapinas and anchoring their back line. And with Martinez and Mayen, she's captaining a back line that does not have a lot of senior level experience. Both of those two players just 16 years old. A great sign for this Guatemalan team. Schmidt from distance. And a well-struck ball sails over the bar. Ambitious here from Schmidt, but she certainly tested Navas. 7-0, already a historic offensive display from Canada. Marilyn Rivera, long ball. Intercepted by the opposing number 3, Kadisha Buchanan. Here comes Canada. Janine Becky, one-on-one with Rivera. Becky. Great tackle from Daniela Andrade. Monterroso, the header. Andrade fighting for it. Won't win the ball, but will win the free kick. Andrade, 23 years old. You wouldn't guess it by that age, but she is one of the more experienced players on this team. Fleming, wayward pass across the field, but with very little pressure from the Guatemalans. Rebecca Quinn has all day to gather the ball. Quinn gliding past the defender. Now looking for service. She's picked out Carl. Carl was returning from an offside position. 59th minute, Canada up 7-0. A hat trick from Rebecca Quinn. Followed goals from Melissa Tancredi, Gabrielle Carl, Janine Becky, and Nichelle Prince. That's how we got to this lopsided scoreline in favor of the team led by John Herdman. Carl and Fleming giving chase. Here comes Ashley Lawrence, fresh into the game. And Deidre Martinez will probably feel harshly done there by that call. Looked like she got at least some of the ball. The Canadian free kick proves to be ineffective. Recinos had eyes for Jennifer Munoz. But the Guatemalan forward couldn't get on the end of it. Another offside whistled here against Canada. Carl again in an offside position. Guatemala applying pressure through Ana Lucia Martinez. Carl keeps it in. Alida Argueta falls prey to a great defensive effort from Fleming. Jesse Fleming with time and space. Marilyn Rivera with the steal. Now finds Martinez, challenged from behind by Schmidt. Tancredi lays it off. Fleming and Tancredi. The rookie and the vet. Ashley Lawrence. Lawrence and Kadisha Buchanan, teammates at West Virginia. Lawrence to the back post. Wilkinson chasing it down. Can she keep it in bounds? No. In the 62nd minute, Guatemala will have a throw deep in their own end. Speaking of Kadisha Buchanan, she's about to check out of the game now. This hardly a like for like. She's replaced by Diana Matheson. Buchanan off, sure to get a little bit of rest before Canada's critical match against Costa Rica Friday. A ticket to Rio on the line then. Canada hoping to join the likes of Brazil, Colombia, France, Germany, South Africa, Zimbabwe, and New Zealand as teams that have already qualified for the Rio Olympics. The 12-team competition begins in early August. Lasts about 3 weeks. '63rd minute, 7-0 Canada. Guatemala eliminated before this match started after back-to-back losses to Guyana and Trinidad and Tobago. Those games much closer though for Las Chapinas. Each of them, in fact, 2-1 defeats. And each of them saw Las Chapinas go up 1-0 before eventually giving up the lead and giving up the points. Argueta to Martinez. Resino sprays wide to Martinez. Martinez trying to fight through a challenge from Carl, and she does so. Boy, Martinez is not backing down from anyone. The young right back for Guatemala eventually earning the free kick after a foul from Melissa Tancredi. No quit from this young defender. Carl, perhaps lucky there not to be whistled for a dangerous play. Martinez clattered into by Tancredi. Tancredi's goal right now, the game winner in the 4th minute, putting Canada up 1-0. Less than half an hour to go from BBVA Compass Stadium in Houston, Texas. Diana Matheson just checked into the match. She was the bronze medal match hero in 2012. 31-year-old. Plays for the Washington Spirit of the NWSL. Monterroso survives a scary moment in her own box. Plays it to Munoz, back to Monterroso. This will be a corner kick for Canada. Lawrence, well-driven ball, near post, shot on frame. Navas the initial save and holds on to it. Great save from the Guatemalan goalkeeper. And she's paid the price. Not only making the save in traffic, but managing to not give up a rebound. Navas starting tonight in place of Jocelyn Franco, who has been really, really good for Las Chapinas in their first 2 games. Excellent job in the opener against Trinidad and Tobago, including 3 or 4 point-blank saves to keep that game close in the first half. Navas now receiving treatment from the Guatemalan medical staff. Franco on the bench tonight, as is Natalie Schaps, the 3rd goalie for Guatemala. Schaps just 16 years old, born the same year that the United States women won the 1999 World Cup. Navas looks to be in some pretty serious pain here. And again, I don't think this scoreline will do her justice. She's made some pretty impressive saves in net for Guatemala. Her penalty area under constant siege. As the heavily favored Canadian squad has done what, frankly, we all expected them to do. 5 goals in the first half, a pair in the second. Well, we've got a moment, a brief programming reminder. Friday, the semifinals and the 2 tickets to Rio up for grabs. 5:30 p.m. live here on NBC Sports Live Extra. It's Canada and Costa Rica. Should be a great game. Canada yet to be tested in this tournament. Costa Rica survived the fire of Group A. A poor performance early on against the United States. They rebounded from that. Convincing win against Puerto Rico, 9-0. They followed that up with a very, very impressive victory over Mexico, 2-1 last night. Then Friday night at 8:30, it's the United States versus Trinidad and Tobago. The 10th all-time meeting between the two sides. The U.S. 9-0 in the previous 9 meetings. That match on NBCSN as well here on the web, NBC Sports Live Extra. Rosinos turning on Schmidt, trying to fight through the double team. Her claims for a foul call ignored by the Mexican referee. Recinos no quit. She's back battling. Got a Canadian player down at midfield. It's Gabrielle Carl. Doesn't look to be anything too serious. She landed awkwardly off that challenge against Jennifer Munoz. Of course, the final of this tournament is Sunday in Houston, Texas. 5 p.m. start. Broadcast that live on NBC Sports Live Extra. Have an encore performance for you on NBCSN at 10 p.m. Canada, along with the United States, Costa Rica, Trinidad and Tobago, all looking to clinch a berth in Rio. The U.S. men also still with an opportunity to head to the Summer Games. We've got a home-and-home series against Colombia coming later this month. Now, this may be something that could apply to a potential U.S.-Canada final. The Canadians have been very successful in group phase of this tournament on corner kicks. And one thing that they like to do is put one of their forwards right on the opposing goalie. It's Nichelle Wright right now. Schmidt on the turn. Her half volley way off the mark. And as a result, Diana Matheson way offside. Matheson, as we mentioned, plays for the Washington Spirit. One of 3 Canadian players on the Spirit roster. Shalina Zadorsky came out of the match earlier. Quality defender out of the University of Michigan. As well as tonight's starting netminder, Stephanie LeBay. Rian Wilkinson, the Canadian captain, with the long ball service over the top. 73 minutes through at BBVA Compass Stadium. Canada up 7-0. Finishing out Group B in style. Alicia Navas, the booming gold kick. Argueta wins the header over Tancredi. Not every day you get to say that. As Schmidt, beautiful, outside of the football to Carl. And here comes the young Canadian winger. Chopped down by Martinez. Looked to be a tackle from behind. Although now it seems as though Martinez got the worst of it. She comes up limping. Matheson. Beautiful ball bent into Becky. But she just seemed to have the wrong angle on it. Becky unable to get her hips squared to goal. Perfectly timed run. Former Texas Tech Red Raider. And a beautiful ball from Diana Matheson. Love watching Matheson play. She can really do it all. Got speed, can get behind you, can absolutely strike from distance, and can set others up. Tancredi looking for an 8. That shot high and wide. Guatemala surely disappointed in the scoreline tonight, but perhaps more disappointment in their inability to secure points earlier in this group phase. Up 2-1 against Trinidad and Tobago, and in 5 minutes that scoreline overturned. Same advantage against Guyana, and again, 2 quick strikes from the Lady Jags on Sunday spelled doom for Las Chapinas. Ana Lucia Martinez showing off her skill on the ball. Certainly the most accomplished of the Guatemalan players. Couple of teenagers doing battle there. Carl called for the handball, working against Kellen Mayen. Tancredi all the way back into her own half. Feeds the overlapping run from Lawrence. Plenty of time to turn for Fleming. First touch won't allow it. Quinn all the way back. She's done her damage for the night. 1 goal just before halftime, 2 more just after it for a quick-fire hat trick. Lawrence cuts it back, now turns. Lawrence again, this time does serve. Andrade clears. Canada bossing the ball. Fleming fights through 2 Guatemalan players in midfield. Matheson now. Back post chip. And look at Martinez pulling away from Quinn and running at Schmidt. But again, the Guatemalan number 9 just has very, very little help when Las Chapinas go in transition. This defensive posture set forth by Benjamin Monterroso certainly limiting for Guatemala. Not suggesting they should open things up. Obviously, despite having 10, 11 players behind the ball for pretty much this entire match, they've still surrendered 7 goals. The quality coming through in spades for Canada. Quality here from Martinez. A lone bright spot in an otherwise dismal evening for this Guatemalan side. Gloria Aguilar looking for Munoz. Will be Argueta again to serve. Plays it right to Lawrence, all the way back to LeBay. A rare touch for the Canadian keeper. Shows no rust as she finds Lawrence, and away goes Canada. What a ball. Becky bending it into Tancredi. Tancredi turns. Nice switch to Wilkinson. She brings it down in the box, but stretching for the cross. Bit of an awkward service, ends up out of bounds. Just over 10 minutes to play from Houston's BBVA Compass Stadium on the east edge of downtown. The stadium opened in 2012, home to the Houston Dash of the National Women's Soccer League, as well as the Houston Dynamo of Major League Soccer. Both those leagues approaching their season kickoff. Carl strips it from Martinez and now finds Fleming. Janine Becky not going to get to that. The 21-year-old does have a goal to her credit, the 35th minute. Nice touch from Fleming. She gets it back from Matheson. Becky. Only to the near post where Coralia Monterroso is able to clear. Martinez again wheeling and dealing, so much fun to watch. Although the Guatemalan number 9 isolated, to say the least, in attack. And you hear the instructions perfectly from John Herdman. It's all about the quality now. Wants to see how precise his team can be in keeping possession here against a Guatemalan side that is running out of gas. Canada zeroing in on the semifinals. Beyond that, hopefully for them, a spot in the 12-team tournament this summer in Brazil. Martinez whipping it in. Schmidt the header. Monterroso now. Andrade. Andrade still on the ball. Andrade, the shot. Blocked by Lawrence. Fleming turns. She's thrown to the ground by Racines. Andrade fights past Matheson there. May have got away with a foul. Thought she had Schmidt beat, but what a sliding challenge from Ashley Lawrence. No let up in her game. 7-0, 10 minutes to go. The Canadian number 10 loath to quit. Fleming and Quinn back and forth. No rush for Canada. Tancredi, Lawrence, Becky, Monterroso away. Monterroso, the captain of this Guatemalan side. Their father, Benjamin, the head coach. Two staples of this Guatemalan program. Monterroso, just 24 years old, as is goalie Alicia Navas. In fact, the oldest player on the field right now for Guatemala is their best player, Ana Lucia Martinez. Monterroso on the ball now. She's playing in defense, but she had 2 critical goals in Central American qualifying. Becky slicing back towards the middle, laces one towards the goal, and this will be an easy finish. Nichelle Prince on the doorstep makes it 8-0 Canada. Navas unable to hold on to the long-distance effort, and Janine Becky's ambition rewarded. Prince will not miss from there. It's her second of the night. Most goals ever scored by a Canadian team in this competition, and they may not be done. Becky again. That won't draw a save from Navas. Prince's goal coming in the 84th minute, the 3rd of this half, 8th overall. Canada trying to manufacture any type of intensity here, as these games in group phase have been all but a cakewalk for John Herdman's squad. Tancredi's through ball knocked out of bounds. It'll be Becky to put it back in play for Canada. She picks out Jessie Fleming. Fleming to Matheson. Good double team there. Nice back check from Ana Lucia Martinez. Martinez now on the ball. Just surrounded by Canadian midfielders. And every time Martinez gets it, look at this. A 10th. Unexpected to say the least. 9th, excuse me. When they come that fast and furious, hard to keep track. Either way, it's Tancredi's goal. Her second of the night. And a historic scoreline at BBVA Compass Stadium. Alicia Navas just a little too lax in that clearance. And the veteran Tancredi takes advantage. Guatemala limping towards the 90th minute. Prince's effort off target. For those wondering, the most goals ever in an Olympic qualifier, 14 by the U.S. against the Dominican Republic back in 2012. Don't know that Canada will get there, but they may come close. Tancredi read the goal kick well. Look at this run. Carl, the left-footed effort. Canada not taking their foot off the gas. John Herdman's team yet to concede in this tournament. Shutouts against Guyana, Trinidad and Tobago, and 3 minutes away from another clean sheet, this one against Guatemala. Quinn to LeBay. Martinez. Nearly found Munoz. But Lawrence comes away. And goes streaking towards the Guatemalan goal. Becky to the back post. Carl keeps it in. Carl, Tancredi leaves it for Prince, goal. And there it is. A 10th. Nichelle Prince. Her third of the night. And a second hat trick for the Canadians. What class from Tancredi. No angle to shoot. And she leaves it for Prince, who makes it an even 10 for Canada. Prince joins Rebecca Quinn as hat trick heroes tonight. An authoritative end to the group phase for the Canadians. Here comes Becky. Could we see an 11th? No! Navas denies Tancredi at the doorstep. And Prince over the top. Becky relentless down that left wing, and Tancredi got herself into a great spot, but how about some credit for Navas? Tancredi, the back heel. Here's Ashley Lawrence, keeping it in bounds. Such a dangerous left foot. And she'll earn a corner kick for Canada. And a merciful end to this match. The final score, Canada 10, Guatemala nothing. Canada win Group B and are through to the semifinals. Your semis set for Friday, 5:30 p.m. here on NBC Sports Live Extra. It's Canada versus Costa Rica. Then at 8:30 p.m. on NBCSN as well as NBC Sports Live Extra, it's the United States versus Trinidad and Tobago. The winner of those two matches are headed to the Rio Olympics later this summer. For all of us here at NBC Sports, I'm Sebastian Salazar. Thanks for watching. Again, the final score, 10-0 Canada.